I remember the sound of the crickets outside. It was one of those warm Beverly Hills nights where the air was still and the world felt eerily quiet. My brother Eric and I had spent the day talking about it. Not in vague terms, but in detail. We knew the plan, step by step, and yet, standing outside that mansion, the weight of what we were about to do made my hands tremble. We entered through the front door, keys slipping slightly as I turned the lock. The house was dark except for the soft glow of the living room lamp. I could hear my parents' voices from the den, muted, but familiar. My father's deep, commanding tone, and my mother's softer, nervous replies. It was almost routine for them to be in that room, watching something on TV, him sitting in his favorite chair, her perched on the couch beside him. But tonight wasn't routine. Not for us. Eric was pale, his knuckles white around the bag he was holding. Inside it were the tools of our decision. He looked at me, his eyes wide, almost pleading, and for a moment, I thought he might back out. But I couldn't let him. Not after everything we'd endured. We stepped into the den. They didn't even look up at first. My father was engrossed in the screen, and my mother was folding the corner of a blanket in her lap. When my father did glance our way, his eyes narrowed, not with concern, but with that sharp, judging glare he always had. "What are you two doing?" he asked, his voice clipped. And then the room erupted. I can still hear the sounds, the deafening blast, the way it reverberated against the marble floors and high ceilings. My mother screamed, a sound that cut through me like glass. My father tried to stand, but he was too slow. The second shot hit him squarely, and he fell back into the chair, his head slumping to the side. Eric was crying now, his breath coming in quick, shallow gasps. My mother was scrambling off the couch, her hands raised, pleading. "Why?" she kept saying, over and over. "Why are you doing this?" I wish I could say I hesitated. That some part of me wanted to stop. But the truth is, I didn't. She was part of the problem too. All those years of silence, all those moments when she could have stopped him and didn't. She didn't deserve mercy any more than he did. The shots came quicker now. 1, 2, 3, until she crumpled to the floor. The blanket she had been holding was stained crimson, the delicate pattern barely visible through the blood. For a moment, there was only silence. The TV still played softly in the background, a laugh track echoing absurdly through the room. Eric dropped the bag and sank to his knees, his face in his hands. I stood there, staring at them, at what we had done. This wasn't just revenge. It was liberation. Every moment of pain, every demand, every insult, they all ended here, in this room, with this blood. I felt it then, a strange calm washing over me. It was over. The world outside was still quiet, the crickets still chirping, as if nothing had happened. We left the house, locking the door behind us as if to preserve the scene. We drove off into the night, heading to the movies as planned, the sound of gunfire still echoing in my ears. We laughed nervously, trying to act normal, but deep down, we both knew, life as we knew it had ended in that den. And nothing, not even freedom, would ever feel the same again.